Hello, great minds. Welcome to Focus Academic Solution YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about general guidelines for essay writing in WAEC 2021. Your letter or essay should not be less than 450 words or far above it. To calculate the number of words you have written, the average words you write per lines and multiply it by the number of lines you have written. Okay, the length assessment should be 450 words. Number 1, 12 words per line, that's about 38 lines. 11 words per line, that's about 41 lines. 10 words per line, that's about 45 lines. 9 words per line, that's about 50 lines. 8 words per line, that's about 56 lines, and so on like that. We have 7 words per line, so these are the lines they all what entails. So 5 words per line, so we use about 19 lines, and 4 words per line, so we use about 112 lines. Generally, your letter or essay should be about 3 passages long, particularly if you write between 6 and 7 words per line. If the language of a question is not clear to you, you are not sure of what the examiner expects you of, or the question is one that requires the use of technical terms, do not answer the question. Okay, what I'm saying here is this: if you're not sure of what to write yet, so you're not sure of what the examiner are expecting from you, so it will be good to avoid error in your technical terms. It's good to understand the question the examiners asks before you start answering them. So when given an indefinite question, you are required to write a minimum of 3 points. An indefinite question is one in which the number of points the candidate is expected to write is not stated. For an example, you are asked to write a letter to your uncle in United States, telling him about the sum of the happy event that has taken place in your family. Alright, so that's for that. So read good essay books and adopt the style, method or pattern of writing but do not copy their works. When writing a similar or the same topic, you are required to be original in your approach. Now, for better essay writing, you have to read books, like you read novel, you read magazine bulletins to know the style of writing essay. Some of students find it difficult to put their words together, to put their words in arrangement when it comes to essay. But one of the ways to help yourself to be the best writing is by reading books that will help you improve your English, your grammar, your sentence, and these will also help you in arrangement of terms, how to use your past tense, your present tense, your English, everything, how to make use of everything. Make judicious use of figurative expression, particularly in essays. The use of figures of speech, proverbs, adage, quotable quotes, among others, help to add beauty to one's essay. However, do not drag in unnecessarily, because doing will achieve a contrary result. Alright, okay, this explanation is about talking about when you're writing an essay. Now you should try and make use of proverb, added quotable quotes, and this also beautifies your letter, because when the examiners read this and they find your letter interesting, they find it more attractive to read, because it gives them more insight, because they find a reason to read what you're writing when you're using all these expressions like figurative of speech, proverb, added and quotable quotes. Always make an outline of the point you intend to use before writing a letter or essay. This will share the possibility of forgetting a very important point. Again, it will boost your mark under organization. Okay, now by the time you always make an outline of point intended to use, so it will always boost your mark when it comes to organization. Remember to read your essay or letter and make necessary corrections. If you fail to correct your errors, the examiners will do that for you, but you pay a ransom price for that. This is funny, right? But it's quite of what we should take note of. After writing our essay or a letter, whichever we're writing there, make sure before giving your booklet for submission, make sure you go through them again for errors, and there can be error in our writing, be it because of the pressure in the exam, or we want to meet up the time given to us to write the letter, but we forgot that while writing there's mistake in our sentence, in our construction of words. So it's better for us to go through our letter over and over again for correction. But if we don't do that, we'll be penalized by the examiner when they're writing. Funniest thing is that now examination will be given around the country for marking. Let's say you're in Lagos, you write in English language in Lagos, you can take your examination to someone in Enugu to mark your examination. We don't know how patient that person is, so it might mark your work based on the how many script he or she has in front of him. So it's good to go over questions again before submitting. Okay, we get that. It's strongly advised that your letter or essay should be written last. This is because first to 30 minutes of an examination is unusual tension shock. Yeah, this is. Now, the advice is this: whenever it comes to letter, now I think this should be written last, because now when the exam starts, to gather yourself, to understand the environment, understand, so it won't take, and if that's the time you are answering letter, now to assimilate, to bring your points together won't be easy anymore. So it go 20 after 30 minutes, you can start off your letter. And before you start writing your letter, first get a jotter, write out some points you need for the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and fourth paragraph, and you can work aligned with all these points you want to use for your letter. Don't be in an hurry to answer essay writing first. You might end up writing rubbish, you might end up making mistake. I will advise you to settle down and let your brain settle. After 20 to 30 minutes, you can bring out your point for your essay writing or letter. Okay, viewers, listeners. So these are the aspects of letter and essay. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and press the bell for more notification. So here we are again. We are in the aspect of letters and essays. So make sure you usually awarded for different aspects of letters, essay, article, essay. So these are the things to consider while writing your letter. Number one, the content, the organization, expression, mechanical accuracy. Now all of these have marks. Okay, for an example, the content contains of 10 marks, organization to 10 marks, expression 20 marks, mechanical accuracy 10 marks. So altogether in essay writing alone, if all these things are written correctly, you are entitled to have 15 marks in your essay writing. And if you follow all these guides very well, you are entitled to 15 marks. So I'll be explaining these one by one for us to know what we have in for content, organization, expression, and mechanical accuracy. Please watch this to the end so that you don't miss the last point. The last point might be what you need to have A in your WAEC English examination. Thanks for following, and please subscribe to my channel. Content. Whether your ideas are relevant to the central themes and how well you develop them. That is, whether your point relates to the topic you're given. Whether you wrote up to the required number of words, that's 450 words. Whether you wrote the required number of points, a minimum of 3 points when given an indefinite question. Okay, this I think we understand what content is all about now. With all these points I've given us. Organization. How well you introduce your letter or essay matter most. Okay, your introduction in writing a letter or essay is very important. So take note of your introduction by writing letter or essay. How well you arrange your points, that is, whether your points are sequential. Like I said initially, your point matters. The best way to bring out your point is to get a jotter and list the points you want to write on. At least if you have 4 points based on the paragraphs you want to use, so it's good to arrange those points and you know what you want to say about each point. Whether your paragraphs are well linked or arranged, the disorganized or disordered manner. Okay, your paragraph, they are well arranged and linked. You understand that? So whether your letter or essay is given suitable conclusion, good. Conclusion also matters. Let me give an explanation of what this is saying. Okay, your introduction is what matter most when writing letter, because you don't expect the examiners to start reading the body of the letter. The first thing that attracts them is how you start your letter, the introduction of the letter, your entry is very important, and the way you end your letter is very important. So what they really check most is the address part. After that, they share your introduction, and after that they share the conclusion, how you end your letter. All these are very important. Please take note of them. Our next one is expression. The positive quality that examiners look for under expression includes good control of the English language, judicious and imaginative use of figurative expression. As stated earlier, I've explained that earlier, the use of idioms, proverb, adage, and so on help to add beauty to your writing. Please do not make mistake of not putting all these things, adding some nutrient to what you're writing. So the use of appropriate words and how well they are collated. Yes, please. Now the language that you know that is you yourself don't understand the words. Okay, you want to show that you know what you're doing. You're not putting for vocabulary that you yourself you don't know the meaning. It is not necessary when writing letter. So make sure your words are well collected. Skillful and sophisticated use of punctuations. Of punctuations. This is very important. You are skillful, and what your punctuation marks too. They're very important in this aspect. Clarity and appropriateness of styles. Yes, clarity. Make sure your words are clear, and appropriateness of styles. This will also help. This will be of help to you. Mechanical accuracy also take important part in essay writing. Now, when mechanical accuracy have 3 different areas. So mechanical accuracy covers 3 different areas in essay writing. The first area is in errors in grammar, punctuation errors, and spellings errors. So please do remember to subscribe to Focus Academic Solution YouTube channel, and please like and share. Please comment on this post if you have anything you want us to help you about. Please Kindly watch this to the end and subscribe to our channel. Okay, we are still on aspects of letters and essay, and we are under mechanical accuracy. The first area to be considered in mechanical accuracy is errors in grammar. Wrong arrangement of adjective or adverbs. Errors of concord, e.g., giving a singular verb to a plural noun, or plural noun to a plural verb, or to a singular subject. Wrong use of moral auxiliary verb, e.g., using can instead of could, may instead of might, would instead of will, should instead of shall. Using a wrong tense, wrong use of pronouns or confusion in the pronouns. The use of wrong preposition, failure to include an essential sentence element, that is, subject, verb, and complement. Wrong use of subordinators and conjunction, relative, etc. Confusion between countable and uncountable nouns. Using active for passive or vice versa. Intransitive for transitive, etc. Please, let's take all these errors into consideration. Please, let's make sure when writing this essay writing under mechanical accuracy, these errors, they're very important. Let's take note of them, and please let's go through all necessary things we have to use, and well arrangement of adjectives and verbs, all those things I just said in errors in grammar. Please let's take note of them while writing our essay. Next one is under punctuation errors. The use of a small letter for the personal nouns I. I should always be written in capital letter, no matter its position in the sentence, provided it is standing alone. The use of a small letter at the beginning of sentence or a proper noun. Okay. We all know this is necessary when we are writing I. No matter the position, we are using the I, be it the beginning of the letter or the middle or wherever it's standing. I should stand alone. We know I to be a personal pronoun. Don't use small letter I instead of capital letter I when you're writing your letter. Please take note of that. It's very important. The wrong use of omission of punctuation marks like exclamation mark, the inverted comma, the full stop, the question mark. All these are very important so in our statement when writing essay or letter writing. Please let's consider all these things while writing. Failure to use comma to separate terms in a list of words, phrases, or clause. Using a comma between adjective and noun, verb and adverb, subject and verb, subject and object, verb and complement, etc. So comma too is very necessary in our letter writing, so it let the marker knows that you are not stopping where you would stop. So if you put comma in the sentence, so it means that the question still moving further, but by the time you put full stop, so that means you stopping there. So let's know how to place our punctuation marks necessarily when writing a sentence. Okay, thanks for following. Lastly, on the aspect of letters and essay, so under mechanical accuracy, the last thing I'm talking about is spelling error. Spelling error, this is very important because students always make mistake of this thing in examination, is in writing. It's not that they don't know what they want to spell, they all know what they want to spell, but sometimes it might be the case of their writing. Some people like to show off, to show the examiner that they have writing. Let me tell you, it's very funny, right? Let me tell you, the examiner don't need your writing. Don't need your writing. That's why if you're spelling, spell rightly, and shun error while spelling. Now, if spelling mistake is usually linked, but A repetition of the same spelling errors is usually not ranked. Examiners accept both American and British spelling provided the candidate is consistent in the use of American spelling or the British spelling. Can you hear that? So, consistency in spelling matter most. If you're using American English, okay, if you're using British English, okay. Now, don't forget, for an example, if you want to spell advice, some people spell advice advce, or sorry, advice, and some people spell advice advixe. Now, this thing, they're kind of error. Why take note to when you're writing your letter writing? Your spelling errors is part of the important thing, the note. Please, last word that is very important on this note is do not use a word you can't spell correctly. Please take note of this. Do not use a word you can't spell correctly, because they can, imagine what you'll be writing from introduction and you find that spelling allow you to write something else. Please, you kindly use the spelling that you can spell correctly, the words you can spell correctly. And thank you for watching this till the end. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your patience. Please don't forget to subscribe to Focus Academic Solution YouTube channel, like, share, and also comment. Thank you for watching to the end. I appreciate you. I value you. I love you all. Thank you.